Are you looking? Huh? Yeah, I just started. Yeah, 2 minutes or so, right? Well, good evening, everybody. Nice to see you again. 2 weeks later, after my first live stream, I'll be happy to present my new one. And I tried to fix some technical issues. I hope it Murphy will be smooth to me today, and everything will work fine and fluently. And so I hope you can see my current screen and where my hand is now watching, and you're seeing on the right 3 reference pics I've put on. Okay, what is the theme today? As I wrote in the description, I want to make a pin-up drawing or painting from scratch. So, and the idea behind is looking back to the 50s, the look on the women on that time, they all had a really loose and nice style, as you see on the top lady on the right. And I want to do that combined with some fancy stuff. Let's say she became a bathtub in the look of the corona or the COVID-19 virus, which was below in the picture. And of course, she has to wear a mask, which is currently essential if you leave the house or you want to enter some shops or something like that. Okay, this is the idea behind, and at first, in this session is my objective to make a sketch. I want to start this with a pencil on my on paper here, and I have prepared some drawing stuff I want to show you later. But at first, maybe after all we have made this sketch today, and maybe I'm able to do that on my digital tablet too, so I can have a base to start for next week. If not, so I will prepare that during the week so that next Thursday we can start, or we can continue to fix the color settings during that 50s, so that and how the pin-up posters are normally painted and which colors. And it was a fancy, really fancy stuff. So therefore, I have prepared some materials as a reference for you, that what I'm thinking about or what I think it's maybe helpful to come to a useful result. Let's say we have here I have chosen for ladies with poses. They are pretty usual at the time. This one you see here on the screen on the top right, I already chosen for the session, and or here's a more fancy style and a little bit coquette, and yeah, and of course here maybe that it's more too obviously to the objective of the seminar. This is because I have said, okay, no, that's too much. So the mask and the bathtub with the coronavirus design may be enough. Or the sweet one on below here, which is wearing a typically designed for the time, which is a dotted robe. You will see that later. I have some typical robes at the time also as references, so we can use that to come together with whatever we want. And so of course I have to watch. Maybe there are already some questions over there. Nope. Okay. So all right. So this is the dressing stuff or the pose stuff I've chosen for that. So this is I have already chosen for us. And then of course I have made some reference pictures or sample that in the internet for a pose and how to look the mask on. And depending on the pose on the woman I choose, I think this one will be the probably the most adequate selection for that. So we can use that as a reference for the mask, only for the mask, nothing else. And this here is typically a petticoat, or however this is called. I think this was a petticoat in the 50s. The most preferred design was a dot design, so the tip, and not only the robes, bath swimming suits also has also these really fancy style. And so I'm not sure how to dress the lady on the picture, because currently she only wears a sweater or an armless or short-armed shirt. Maybe she becomes only a top from a swimming suit. So this we decide during the sketching process. And of course, not really unimportant is the hairstyle. Okay, so we said that she get a bath cap with a Corona design, but as a typical design from the 50s, I think that we will see some hair throughout the bath cap, and maybe, I'm not sure, maybe this one here or this one here will be the choice. Okay, so that's what we need to do. And so let's get maybe started on, or maybe no, I'm showing you at first what I've prepared on drawing material. It's really simple, not really too much and not fancy. I have here a simple pencil, and this one is from Koh-i-Noor. There's some other comparable stuff. It doesn't matter which brand it is. So this one here is a 3B, which is a slightly weak one. So I'm not sure if I'll use that currently. So but more likely I have these 3 graphite pencils. These are also different brands, I think. So I started with an HB, and then I have a 2B, which is this one, and then the weakest one is the 4B I have. So just for shading, or maybe for more dominant corrections on the drawing. So you'll see that's really cheap. There's cheap stuff and nice to handling. It's pure graphite. You can sharpen it with every standard sharpener, as you know. And okay, so and for erasing, I have prepared 3 kneaders. One is a erasers, one is a kneaded eraser, so I can form it in every shape I need. Maybe on a thin one, as really on a flat area or a sharp area or whatever we need for that. And then I have here a black one, um, which I normally use for more softer stuff, the drawing stuff like graphite or charcoal. And by the way, this one is also pretty essential to erase with charcoal. I make a webinar on that too during the next weeks about drawing or sketching with charcoal. And this is a standard, and the brand doesn't matter, and so you can use whatever you have in your house. So nothing special. Okay. So here I can erase that, by the way. It's not important. So, and good. As we said, we're using the women, which is here. This we wanna use, and so let's get started. And if you have questions, or there's something which is looking weird on your side, and so please write it in the chat so I can react on that. This would be really helpful to me. Thank you. So let's get started. There's my HB pencil. All right. So let's figure out the pose. So right. I start with a rough imagination of what can be happen on all the geometrics of this of the figure, and did everything comes in shape like on my reference. So this is, as you see, this is one, the short one, and the next side. I'm not currently fixed on really everything is really correct, so I'm really trying to stay in a flow or find the flow, maybe if I don't have it at the moment. And sure, I'm not really in the flow that I need at the moment to say, okay, or to have a feeling that that I will hit it at the first draft. So maybe you need some more, and this is normal. I think it's not pretty the standard that you always hit it on the first draft. So you have to approach piece by piece by that. This is why you can correct it, and you see that here, this face here and the shape. It's not that what I want. It's not that nice. And so let's see that we find the most important lines. Of course, it's not important to draw a mouth because on the nose also you don't need that. But I need that for my reference proportions. I expect that I find the head correctly, so that this is the only thing that I'm drawing the mouth and everything on the right position. Afterwards I can delete it by an eraser, but and now I tend, as I see, I'm tending a bit with too high pressure, so I'm just erasing smoothly something well, because I hit too much on the pencil. So then just smooth it out a bit, and so let's find the better shapes for that. That's Don't be afraid to make faults, because they are essential, I think, and I do that every day, and I do a lot of errors and mistakes, and always trying to correct everything, and so this is part of the job. As I think so, it's normal that in every job there is losing and winning, and and this is on drawing and painting or in art no other way. So let's be a fluent. So this is here wet. There's more here. This, find the proportion of the body, which is important if we are planning to give her an maybe a swimsuit or a top instead of the vest she has on here currently, and maybe I try to figure out how this will look with the hair. Just find the form. Here are the ears. Maybe they have to be in the hand pose, which is currently not so important, by the way. I just want to figure out the negative form or the negative space, and only to find the finger positions that they are initially correct. So, but not designed perfect. So it's okay. All right. I think that we can go to these deeper stuff, and so okay. Fine. So here's this on the neck. We have here one line, one move, but this will also be hidden. Maybe by the mask we can already figure out where she has to go, or it has to go on this way, and so we don't need that in detail. So the eyebrow is important. The side planes of the head is important, and as you see, I'm not really so fixed or focused on every detail. I'm just going around to find all these proportions are well on the right side, and it's not the objective to make an exact copy of that what we see. It's only a reference of the pose, so we are free to interpret everything in our way, and what it's helpful or useful for us. So that's perfect. So it looks that we figure out all these things now in a good manner. So yeah, so this now looks nice. Like it comes to erasing the details out of the mask. So or the shape of the mask I just made on this, because we don't need that. I can move it away. Okay, so these are first one on, as we have in our references, we have, of course, there are plissés, we have, there are, I don't know the word in English, what means of Falten. This maybe I have to research by my own, and yeah, so that's it's coming more to the detail. So I hope I don't need more at the moment. Yeah, so maybe you can see that. Let's just switch on more the details I'm trying to fix. So we have all the plan side, we have here the shadow side, which is going over there through the neck and so on. Okay, this is maybe the head, because the giving more. A lot of the hairs are normally under the bath cap, so it's a bath cap. So maybe it's okay on this at first draw. All right. So this is important, which gives everything the shape. It's also a possibility to correct something, and maybe I'm doing that right now. I'm starting to give her another dress instead of this boring shirt that she's currently wearing. So that's okay. I think that's the first idea of that. All right. So our eraser is a tool which is mostly, or I use it in that way a lot, but maybe some guys know me, and I'm drawing many times with a ball pen, and this you can't erase. So this is, by the way, a pretty good practice to do that. Maybe I'll show you that in a moment, so that that you aren't so fixed on the form or on that what you're currently doing. As I last time I said that if you start to think that this is a nose or a mouth or an eye or so, then it tends to be that you're drawing or painting a mouth, but not the mouth you have to paint. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that most of the people doing. Yeah, I hope that you understand what I mean. So it's always a bit tight here in my room, so I have not enough space to fix everything in position. But I thought that be not perfect by starting, but do it. And so I'm happy that I'm now on the way that I'm understand how this stuff here on live streaming and YouTube and so how it works, by the way. So, and really tricky, but there are professionals, a lot of professionals out there. They are helping, and they're having tips, and I hope that will help me. So let's maybe I'm taking a pencil, another one. I show you what I mean with drawing without erasing. Okay, this is in standard ball pen. and I normally use to when I'm drawing or make practice at evening, just relaxing. And yeah, let's see. It's a pretty simple. Let's start, and I have not really a big idea, but let's say I wanna trying to figure out her position in that way, and so I would start in this way, and for of course I know I have a small memory of my movements what I already did because I've made that drawing already, so I can. As you see, this is a loose approach of finding the form and not so. And don't be afraid to make something wrong because there's if I find that one line is okay and I'm happy with that, so maybe I just go over that line a few times so that it's coming more pregnant. Pregnant? No, important. Pregnant. Sorry for that. Pregnant means with others. Another thing. Sometimes it's very weird. And okay, this is all right. So you have this one here, the finger and the arm. Trying again and find out the position here and the shoulder. That's pretty cool. I think this brings fun because you don't use any eraser. The only thing what you have is to correct it directly with another line, which by the way makes a drawing much more dynamic. And sometimes it's better that, or some drawings I think are better than my initial one I started. Maybe this one is touching the same state. We'll see. But I'm currently only on the way to do that style loose and easy peasy. Not so. That's one. Another. Yes, that's it up here. And the arm, the thumb going over here, and that's it. Maybe I'm starting directly to fix some shadow areas, which is not exclusively correct. So we'll see that it's only a feeling in describing some forms of that what we see, and sometimes not what we see, but we know. And this brings me to another point, which is also important in drawing, is to do it whenever you can. The best way would be do it every day, but I know that's an objective that not everybody can reach, or it's not important to him. That's okay. All right, it looks nice, by the way. I hope you find that too. It's word. Maybe this way I have to have a deeper look later on the shape, on the hairs, how they are influencing what we see. But this is, as you see, that's really an easy way to draw, not to overthinking too much. And it's obviously, I don't know, maybe there are some guys outside there knowing what I mean when I say that it's not really easy to bring a good result and reaching your objective or your target and speaking a foreign language. That's a challenge, by the way. Normally when I'm drawing or painting, I don't talk. Sometimes if it's complicated, I don't listen to music, but in this way I have no chance to entertain you, to tell what I'm thinking, to tell what I'm doing and why I'm doing this. All right. So this will be a bit interesting, more interesting maybe for some of the guys. They don't know this technique, and maybe it's helpful. So let's see, we can maybe you can get a better precision so you can see that in detail. It looks, by the way, really dynamic, and yeah, so that is not sure. I just don't look on the reference photo. I'm just doing that from a feeling. Maybe it's not correct. That doesn't matter because this is only an exercise, and that's okay because it helps me by my pencil drawing, which is the main objective for that today. I think that's understandable because we have a plan. That's what we wanna reach, and sometimes it's really helpful to do some side stuff, which is not the direct way to reach your target, but it helps you to be not too how to describe that, not to be too fixed on a certain thing or detail, so that you can lose, or you can leave it as it is. So that's okay. And everybody outside had obviously made the same experience that working on a detail or working on a figure or something, or a portrait or whatever you want to or want to draw or to paint, and you're not happy because especially when you want to portray a person and you don't see the similarity, and you're working hard on that, and you go away, let it be, and take a rest, and come back later, and then maybe suddenly, if you see the faults you made, and why the similarity is far away from that what you want to reach. So this means fresh eyes. So this sometimes it helps, or to step up and take a step back, have a better overview of everything. So this helps too. Especially if your target is more painting more loosely, like my last portrait I painted. So because if you are too close to the painting, you are seeing only colors and no shapes, and to see how everything fits together, is the shape and the color and the hue and the saturation, is everything comes together. So that you have the impression of the face, the volume of the face, the three-dimensional look of the face. So that helps go back, approach, go back, approach, and so then you find the right way. Okay. I think this is now looking in a way that I can start to give him a rough shape for the dresses. For this case, I need a weaker one. Now I'm using the this is a 2B, and I think that's okay. So start to shade a bit. I'm holding it mostly in that way, not like this, and this helps me to change the angle between the pencil, as you see, and the paper. And yes, and start to give him a rough. On the painting, it's I would say give some middle tones, not really the darkest ones, so only where is obviously a shadow, not the darkest shadows, but where are shadows. So you can place them roughly, or as the American painters they phrase it, block in, just to find the areas where the darkness will start and where they will be continued, and then later you can go deeper to the contrast, because it's heavier later on. If you start too dark, it's really hard to fix that later on. So so be careful in that way. If you're not sure how to approach that, it's the easiest part will be, or the easiest way is really uses not too weak pencil, like 2B is maybe okay. Sometimes an HB or so is for some guys better. And then you restart the shading process, and when you're happy with the result, you can change to a weaker one, maybe 2B, and then going to the areas where you think that they need more shadow, and then draw again the shadow lines over and over. It's like a layer, yeah, piece by piece. And finally you come to the darkest points, and maybe you need some more contrast, and then you can pick your kneaded eraser to build the highlights out. So this is what here, this form here is too, because it's a line, yeah, it's too heavy, so I'm trying to loose this line a bit up with putting some more pressure on the pencil, so that I'm losing a bit the line, instead of having an area which is the shading starts, and the description of the form will come more in detail. All right, so as you see, the back part of the neck. So we see that the light will come from here. So, and this will be the light. So we'll have here a light area here. We'll have a light area here, and some of the eye here. And of course, on the tip here from the of the mask here, on the nose, maybe it's one. And then we have some here on the arm, and a bit here. And then we have, of course, here in that way, a bit of light. This has to be in shadow, so we can fix that already. And by the way, I don't use the reference picture at the moment. I'm just thinking on how the body is formed, and how these forms on the body, like here the arm it's obviously a cylinder, and how this works when the light is coming from a certain angle, and where are the shadows, where are the lights. And this is only the way I currently think, because in our way it's not really necessary to use that specific shadows and lights from a certain person, because we are not interested into doing a portrait from that girl on the photo. It's only a reference from the pose and nothing more. So this is we don't have to be focused on that detail because it's wasting time. So we looking for another things. Okay, when the light is coming from there, so we should have a bit shadow under this here to describe the form, and of course it has to be described the form here on the breasts. So there's the shadow line here and here and this one. All right, and this must be getting darker because it's much more away from the light. And then we have some reflection which is coming from here against here, so it's definitely not the darkest part here. I think the darkest part have to be here because the arm is really close to the upper body. So, and it describes the shadow, and maybe here under the chin, where the chin meets the neck here. So that's maybe the darkest part. So, and if you think that you are getting too dark, that's the same as I started. And so you put your eraser and go to all the areas where you think you are currently you're too dark. Erase it. You can really erase it over the edges of an area you already made, because it's better to destroy something that it might be best or good, but this leads you to be fixed on all the stuff is not so good, which is improvable. You can improve, but you're losing your flow. Yeah, you're really in drawing a nitty-gritty thing on a place, and you're trying and trying, and you're really stuck on that because it won't help you. Yeah, this is the reason to be relaxed, and sometimes you have to control it, or you have to erase a complete part. So which I do here, because it's obviously when the light is coming from there, then the arm will losing the contours and against the backlit and the front, because there's a small light transition. The darkest one will be here because the light is also on the background, but the shadow lights are here, are really the darkest ones. And here, if you imagine that on the background here there will be a wall. So let's say she's sitting here on the wall here, and the light is coming here through and will be here reflected and back, and back. So that's maybe here the lightest light on in the area here between the hand and the shoulder and the neck. So this is only to understand how the light is working, or how the light comes to a certain impression for the eyes. This is only physics and a bit of magic. And of course, it's our job is to solve these problems for a painting or a drawing or whatever you want. So that's okay. So feel free to correct, and until you find that form, and yeah, that's looks much better now for me. So All right. So when I look at the clock, it's already 45 minutes away. That's weird. And okay, I heard that it's Christina said that the sound is stocking and the pictures also too. If the others can confirm that, or is it only on Christina's side? I'm not sure. It would be nice that you write something in the chat. All right. So I think that if we see that time is progressing, this is maybe a good state or situation that we are changing to another platform. I think that we are changing to the drawing tablet. So maybe this needs just a second, because I want to take a picture from that, because we want to use that as a we use that as a photo. As a drawing. We can continue on the tablet. So for that way, I have to just to increase the zoom. So that's okay. Take a picture. And all right, and then I have to change to the tablet. Let's see, that's yeah, okay, it's a bit all right. This is the tablet. All right, so we take a new one and plus and take an A4 format and voila. All right. So this we change, and we drawing from now. We're drawing on the tablet. And where is my pencil for that? Here it is. So we using a photo, this one, and putting it. Now come on. All right. So putting that here on the page. Maybe I turn it. Yeah, I think I turn it. All right. Good. And done. We put a new layer on it. And this layer we have to set the transparency. All right, so we have it a bit less dominant. Okay, so let's draw for now. So it's now we have the possibility to to correct everything, or to don't need an eraser or have to redraw it. So we can use helping tools from the tablet to cut out and to deform everything as the way it fits to us. So this will be this will definitely be the drawing we use later on for the painting we want to make. Okay, we're using a pencil. Let's say we have this one. This is standard. Okay, and the size here we have a small. Let's see. I don't know how big it is. It's I have to change the color, by the way. It was in white, so we have to change the color to black. Okay, good. Alright, this is okay. So we can zoom in, and then I start to just to draw on that what I like. Maybe in the way that I say, okay, this can be already fixed during the drawing, and all right, so we can go more into detail, because the ear is obviously only not really important, because it's hidden by the hands, and okay, this is part of that, part of that. Good. As you see, it's really nice to work with such a kind of tools, because it's nearly, it's not, yeah, it's nearly the behavior of a real drawing tool, like a pencil, and with the advantage that you can easily correct something, or you can manipulate, or you can playing around with everything. It's what you think it's maybe interesting, or without touching your original drawings, and or be afraid that you're destroying something, because you can always go back and correct everything in your until it fits your needs. So this is what I like to use it as a concept tool. Of course, there's the possibility, as you see, that what I do, that you can obviously, using every photo in the world, and you can draw or not. You only can make a copy of that, and which is, yeah, for these people, they maybe cannot draw helpful, but it's on the other side a bit hard for the guys they can draw, that they're getting compared with people they are always doing this kind of stuff, and cannot draw. That it's a bit, yeah, it's a fake. But we, like everything, they have to know what they do, and yeah, I think it's this is the thing that changed our times, and maybe it's not the end. We are getting maybe more. Okay, I think so. I got a feedback that the sound is sometimes had a problem. Maybe it's the problem with the headset. I changed that, by the way, from the next day. Next time, I want to make more tests with that. Sorry, but yeah, it's Murphy. The whole day it worked, and yeah, and then it won't. All right, so now we have a rough description of the forms again. All right. So let's so that we don't destroy everything what we currently did. We take another layer, which is now a layer is maybe, as you can imagine, that It's like a transparent paper, which is based on, they have on a white ground. You have a white paper, then you put one layer with a drawing, with this drawn on maybe also on a transparent paper, and then you put another transparent paper over it. You can draw and change it, and everything what you did on this layer doesn't influence the layer underneath. So it's stacked. So you can nothing destroy and or nothing influencing by each other. That's pretty cool. And if you are later, if you said, okay, this is perfect, you can combine these layers, and so we have only one rest. So, and if your drawing is getting complexer and complexer, okay. So now we have level 3, and let's say we rename it, and I say that I remember me, that's the hand. Okay, so that that I'm fixed on that, on these fingers, and so I need more. Yes, so I'm starting. This is 1. This is 2. And this, how it looks on the original, yes, this is 3. Only a rough idea. And then the other one is going on that way. And of course it's a bit smaller. Okay. So then we're going over there. That's now the thumb. Let's correct it. All right. First initial thing we have, and then we have to correct that. Okay, so we need the eraser. It's obviously also available here on that. And then we correct something we don't need anymore, or which is wrong. So we can have a bit smaller. This is a bit smaller now. All right. So you see that I'm trying to erase this position, but it won't work because I'm working on the layer which is above of that. So I have to change later to go underneath that to fix it. So this normally makes it's more bended. So, all right. So let's see that we change to the other one level, and to make the corrections over there. Oops, correcting, not painting. So this is, we have to correct. All right, so it looks okay for the first drawing. I think so. We have to change anymore, but it doesn't matter. So we are currently in the right state, so that everything is that what we want. So we go back to the hand, and having now this is the angle here is not really well. This we have to correct. And this line is also not available, or nothing important. So we know that the hand has, and that position we have a knuckle on that, because when I draw that here, the angle is more here, and then we have a knuckle here, which is obviously here, and this is why obviously the hand is the wrist is too thick, so we have to correct that. And now you see how nice is that to make all these corrections really quick without losing all the references we already did. And this helps us really a lot to find the better way. And okay, so this is we can finally draw. Must be a bit smaller everything, because she don't has really thick arms, and so we correct all this and depend in relation to the hands that this fits together, the elegance from the small fingers, and by the way, we are talking about the 50s, so she will get beautiful red fingernails, yeah, and which is always a remarkable sign of the corona, of the COVID-19, or is COVID-19 or SARS version 2, or so, however the name is, which is also red, flourish, yeah, I don't know, buildings on that, on the round, the circle core, so that maybe it's getting too much with the red, but we will see. So we can figure out that of course, here on the tablet 2. And yeah, this is, we always, before you spend time on your painting, you can figure out everything you need. And so, and the shadow is also important on the hand, which is coming from here to here. So I'm just starting to setting some dark points, and in this way I'm looking for my reference. Where are the points where on the hand are dark, and this is too dark. Going more in the depth. All right. The fingers on the below, they are in shadow, and this is in shadow. This maybe is in shadow too. Yes, so that's yeah, that's coming to that what we need and what's correct. By the way, that we are drawing something which is using by the 50th or so, and it's more in poster or so, that with poppy colors from the 50th they normally used, and so that's not really an accurate anatomical building. So, but we only have the correct idea that the proportions are correct, and that the pose is correct, and this is the only thing that we have to currently focus on. so that it describes the right pose that women normally did on that during that time. And yeah, that's what we want to reach. All right. I think that's for the first. It's okay. And obviously we have this area here to do, which is you don't see currently. I have to make a new layer, so we have to use another color. Let's say we use a blue one, so that that you see. So we have now to do that here. This is also a part we have to do. This part here from the head, and another one we have, of course, we have to do that one. And just to become an idea of what I mean is, let's say we want to give you clothes. Okay, and now I'm on level 5. I'm changing the color back to black. And now I'm drawing some circles. They don't have to be perfect, but they have to be on that way that it normally would flow the form. That's maybe the trickiest part on that. And yeah, let's see. That's how it works. They have to get more oval. This one here. But this is pretty cool. You can figure it out how this could work, and don't be too correct. Just be random. And yeah, that's we think that this would be the way we have to go, and that's pretty cool, I think. Be loose and be not too fixed on your ideas, but the only thing you have to respect on that way is that you have to follow the form. That's because this must follow a certain rule or logic, so that the people they are watching that, they can see, okay, that's pretty cool, because we don't use so many shades to describe the form. It's more a rough flow of dark tones from really light ones. It's really a stark contrast. So I think that's the way we have to go, and this will be a good base for the next Thursday. We talk about the color choose, and so we can experiment here on that tablet. We do what we will do at that time, only experimenting with the color and using color schemes, different ones, and to figure out how this influenced this result. And for that, I want to draw the head and the stuff which is not finished now. But you see that how I approach to all this stuff. I think that will be the result for the day.